Today, I want to talk to you about Bitcoin, but more importantly, I want to talk to you about Satoshis. And those are the same thing, believe it or not, and they're kind of confusing. So I wanted to kind of use this time to just break that down and help you get an understanding for the difference there. So one Bitcoin is pretty simple. It's one Bitcoin. And inside of that Bitcoin, there is actually, it can be divided. And you can think about it like a dollar can be divided into 100 pennies. Those sats or Satoshi, those are basically the pennies of Bitcoin, really. And so I'll throw kind of a visual up here so you can get an idea for, there's 100 million in one Bitcoin. So you can think about Satoshi kind of like dollars. They are part of a Bitcoin, right? But pennies aren't really part of a dollar. They're pennies, right? They are parts of a dollar. But once you have those added up, then they equal $1, right? The same is true with Satoshis. And so, as you start, collecting Bitcoin or buying Bitcoin, you don't have to buy like a whole one to get started with. You can actually buy just parts of a Bitcoin, just like you could own parts of a dollar. And so when you think about the decimal place again, to kind of jump back, you see, the dollar decimal point have two places, and that's the tens. It goes up to the tens mark, right? But on a Bitcoin, it actually has 8 decimal points that show the full, amount of a Bitcoin. I know it's a little confusing. That still is it's still really out there, but you have to kind of stretch your mind a little bit to understand this. And so sometimes on gas stations, you'll see it with like a third, with like a little 9. So that way they get their extra little penny or part of a penny there. So again, just to kind of break that down, $1 is 100 pennies. One Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshi. And so it's pretty simple whenever you understand it, but it's even better whenever you start to get your hands on some Bitcoin and really start to understand, oh, okay, I've got 0.003. 0.003 would be 300,000 sats, right? And again, I have to reference this chart every once in a while just to try to drill it into my head of like, okay, here's the amount that this is, and here's how much I've accumulated. And those are valued just the same as a Bitcoin. It would just be a fraction of a singular coin. I hope this helps you get a general understanding of at least how Bitcoin works in the sense of the decimal point and how many Bitcoin, or how many Satoshi rather, make up a Bitcoin, right?
4 years ago today, on May 22nd, 2020, you could have got 1 million sats for $90. $90. So, if you think about the average person, most people would have $90. Instead of going to the bar one night, buy 1 million sats. That was 4 years ago. Today, you need $700 to buy 1 million sats. So using that same kind of timeline and same kind of increase proportion, in 4 years from today, May 22nd, 2028, you'll be spending $5,100 US dollars to get 1 million sats. So the longer you wait to do this, the more cycles you wait to get to 1 million, the harder it's going to be. So go in with that mindset of, I'm going to become a millionaire in sats, and I'm going to either buy some right now, or I'm going to find different ways to earn that over time.